The community itself has poured so much into me, Meltrice. I've met so many amazing women, amazing entrepreneurs, some who have been for the first time establishing their wealth, right? And thinking and taking more seriously what it is to leave and transfer generational wealth. And having the ability to have a safe space to talk through all of these things, right? Not only them talking to me about how to establish and how to leave and transfer wealth, but also me tapping into them.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't know I needed that. So thank you.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't know I needed that. But it's been a true sisterhood.
Yeah.
It really has.
Yeah. And most people will say, I don't have a legacy, but I'm like, but you are your legacy.
Absolutely. Thinking of estate planning as building your legacy and transferring that legacy is empowerment.
Yes.
And we have a voice, and we should use that voice.
What's one advanced concept that you think more people should be talking about when it comes to wealth preservation? Welcome to another episode of Money Motivations with Meltrice, aka, no pun intended, M Cute. I am excited to interview my girl and my friend and the trailblazer of 2024's conference, Carmen Scott. I am confident that this episode will leave you inspired, encouraged, empowered, motivated, and you will act after you hear what she has to say. So, let's get straight to it. Carmen, welcome to this episode.
Thank you for having me, sis.
Thank you for being here.
I feel great for being here.
I am so inspired by you. I watch you on social media, and it's interesting how I was telling my team last year, I'm like, I really want to connect with the brown community in a meaningful way. I feel like there's a separation between the black and the brown community, and I think women like me and you will break down those barriers so that we can be operating on the same page.
Absolutely.
And so when we got the nomination for you, it was our team, we read through all the other nominations and our team was like, this is it. But I feel like it was an answered prayer. You and I have been working in the community for a while. And so that kind of gave us an opportunity to forge forward in a wonderful relationship. So
Absolutely. And the feeling is mutual, right? I think one of my unspoken, I guess, passions has been trying to bridge that gap between the black and brown community. And I think that last year, it just elevated that for me, right? It's just kind of like it heightened the need for me to be able to say, like, this is what we really need to be doing to connect together and to work together.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to be here.
And you came and did your thing. So not only were you the trailblazer last year, you won that award, but you also facilitated a course, which was one of the when we read through the survey results, one of the courses that people loved the most last year. And people were like at the door trying to come to your course, which is why you're teaching twice this year. So I'm excited. So you are returning to the conference after being the trailblazer. What has this community meant to you, and what inspired you to come back and teach 2 sessions this year?
So really, the community itself has poured so much into me, Meltrice. I've met so many amazing women, amazing entrepreneurs, some who have been for the first time establishing their wealth, right? And thinking and taking more seriously what it is to leave and transfer generational wealth. And having the ability to have a safe space to talk through all of these things, right? Not only them talking to me about how to establish and how to leave and transfer wealth, but also me tapping into them.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't know I needed that. So thank you.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't know I needed that. But it's been a true sisterhood.
Yeah.
It really has.
Yeah.
It really has. And you included. I mean, we talk now, it's kind of, I feel like I can call you at 11 o'clock at night on a Tuesday night and you'll answer my call. And I love that for us.
Yes.
Because I would do the same for you.
It's been beautiful. I remember, of course, when you put on a conference, you curate a conference and you invite facilitators, you don't really know what you're going to get.
Sure.
And so I try to put my head into every course. I put my head into your course and I stayed in your course the whole time.
No pressure at all.
Right,
No
I didn't
pressure
get a
at
chance
all.
to go see anybody else who was facilitating that time at that time, because the information was so good and so crucial.
Thank you.
And I go into this thing thinking, okay, I know a lot, right? I don't want to say there's nothing I can learn, but when I say I was so informed, and I was like, I told my assistant that next Monday when she called you, I was like, get me on a calendar with Carmen. I'm paying her hourly rate, whatever it is.
Yes.
I need to get.
Yes.
I need to elevate my estate planning.
Yes.
So I really appreciate it. You coming and you gave it to us where we can get it. They say put it where the goats can get it, but you made it so real, so relatable, and so relevant that I was like, every woman should be doing something as a result of hearing what you had to say during your course. So let's start with your session this year, passing the torch. Why is it so important for women, especially Black and brown women, to get serious about legacy planning? And what are some of the most common pitfalls you see when these things are delayed and these conversations aren't had?
Sure. So I think it's important for Black and brown women to think about legacy leaving because we're the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs out there, right? And we're also stepping into positions where we're not only making decisions in our businesses, but we're making decisions in our households, right? Our husbands, our significant others are talking about or asking us more and more, right, our opinion, and are using that to lead our household. And so it's not only a statement of resilience, but it's a statement of empowerment, right? And so thinking of estate planning as building your legacy and transferring that legacy is empowerment.
Yes.
And we have a voice, and we should use that voice.
I love that.
Right. And to your second question, delaying it just, we always think we have time, right? We have time. I think that most of us don't realize that or don't seem to acknowledge that we're all just borrowed here, right? And we're not on our own time.
Yeah.
And time is not always on our side. Yeah. And so being able to use our own autonomy to make these decisions ourselves and to pick the people that we would want to be in control of us if we can't no longer be in control because of different ailments or disabilities. And really being able to figure out where and how we want our legacy transferred.
Yeah.
Right.
And most people will say, I don't have a legacy, but I'm like, but you are your legacy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And one of my, when I talk to people in our age group, I think about, and even younger people, because I think that sometimes younger people say, estate planning isn't for me. It's for old people. It's for people that are sick or people that are dying. And so I say, but you have a minor child, right? So what if the what if happens?
Yeah. Yeah.
The only way you're going to make sure that child, that legacy, that your biggest asset on this earth, your children, right, are taken care of, are through these documents.
Yeah.
And we don't want a court to step in and say, I'll make this decision, right?
I'll make the decision for your child in your absence because
I want better for us.
You did not prioritize making the decision for your child.
I want better for us.
Yeah.
And we deserve better. And our families deserve better, right? And so it's like one of those things when I see a GoFundMe account.
Oh, you took the words right out of my mouth. I literally want to tear. A tear almost drops every time I have to get an email or a text asking me for that. Yeah.
And so it's kind of that, it leaves that same flavor in my mouth. It's like, why are we here? Why are we still here?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Why is it still taboo to have these conversations? Yeah. Why can we have conversations of all kinds of other things, right? And this is still taboo. What you wearing tonight, right? Yeah. How many dates you've had, who's seen
today?
Who,
what
right?
Club you going to
exactly,
today?
Exactly. But we can't have a meaningful conversation about estate planning and what that looks like.
And I love how you said that because one of the missions of Women Creating Wealth and Impact and Money Motivations with Meltrice, I want to make it the trendy topic. Like sometimes I feel like we're so concerned about the perception of wealth.
Yeah.
Right? That we are not chasing wealth.
Absolutely.
And we think it's a negative thing to say, I want to be wealthy, or I want to be rich, or I want to have money. Like, it's like one of those things that people don't talk about, like sex. Like,
Right.
we should talk about sex more often.
Right.
We should talk about menopause more often.
Girl.
Right? We should talk about all the stuff.
All of the things.
Those are real
all
things.
All of the things.
We want to talk about the superficial stuff more.
It's easier, right?
I guess
it's easier.
It's
It's easier.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're doing passing the torch, but you're also doing this second session, which is estate planning for experience. And when we say experience here, we're not talking about because you're an experienced person. We're talking about you already have the fundamentals in place. Now, how do you take your estate planning to the next level? So this dives deeper into strategies like advanced trust. This is where I am now. How do I fund my trust? Charitable giving and business succession. What's one advanced concept that you think more people should be talking about when it comes to wealth preservation?
Sure. So I think I'm gonna say this one because this has been the topic probably for the last 6 months. I've seen a lot of clients coming in and talking about business succession, right? Sometimes I see that all the basic documents are done, but then we talk about, well, what about your business, right? And women pour their heart. I know, right? We pour our heart into our thing, whatever that thing is, right? We pour our heart into it, and our business is no different. And so we spend all of this time building, but we don't think about what happens to that thing that we've spent so much time and dedicated so much effort and money into. What happens to that when we either not only at our demise, but when we step away or step down, right? Is it a family member that's going to step in our shoes and take over, right? Or is it a key employee? And how are we going to make sure that not only our legacy, but our vision aligns with the business even when we step away, right? And so having those thoughtful conversations and really expressing what we want this to look like and memorializing that, right, is a way of not only transferring wealth, but it's a way of making sure that we're securing the asset that we've spent so much time on during our lifetimes.
One of the concepts that you talked about during the conference last year was a post-nump. So I know that, these are words that, some people perceive as negative.
Sure.
Right? Pre-nump, post-nump.
Girl.
But baby, when you said that to me last year, as much as I love my husband, I was like, yep, put that on my action items of things to do. Talk a little bit about the pre-nump versus the post-nump and why they are so important.
So, I think, look, I started this conversation with saying women are making big decisions, right? Not only in, the corporate worlds, not only in our individual businesses, but in our households too, right? And it's okay to love your spouse and it's okay for him to lead the house, but it's also okay for the woman to say, look, right? And especially when it's like, later in life, right? I got married at a big age. We're not going to talk about the age of but I married my now husband at a big age, and we're grown, right? And like I said at the conference last year, we have to have conversations as to, look, I love you, I trust you, but you came with stuff, and I came with stuff. Right. And so the post-nuptial is acknowledging that if you didn't sign a prenup, right, which a lot of people are familiar with, saying what your assets are prior to getting married, and that every one's assets that were brought into the marriage, each spouse keeps their own assets and is distributed, per their own estate plan. But a post-nuptial is saying, look, we didn't do it then, but now I realize that it's probably best in my best interest and maybe in yours, right? That we talk about what these assets look like now and how to make sure that our children, our independent children from different relationships, are protected. Right? Because
that's a big one.
I joke around all the time, but I'm a realist, right? And so one of the ongoing jokes that I say in all of my presentations, because I'm gonna say joke because hopefully it never becomes my reality, But I often say, look, my husband isn't going to run off with my money with the Instagram model that he's liking on Instagram, right?
Right.
Like, and so I have to make sure, right, that
Absolutely.
I'm protected, that my children are protected, and vice versa. He, I'm sure, would not like, for if something happened to him, for me to move in someone else into a house that he helped build, right? And
Absolutely.
so those are true hard conversations, but conversations that are necessary.
They're
And
absolutely
women should feel
necessary.
empowered to
Yeah.
have those conversations.
Absolutely. I
Right?
mean, you think when you talk about you came into it with something, I came into to it with
Absolutely.
something. We've created something together. And so what does that look like? And oftentimes we come into it with children from previous relationships or marriages. They bring children, and some of the things I want for my children, respectfully, right?
Sure.
And so when you started talking about that, I was like, okay, that is something that we don't talk about a lot, that we should talk about it a lot, and it should be okay to talk about.
Absolutely.
So that was really good. Another thing is, as I am getting older and I'm seeing the fragility in my mom, and my mom is what, 2 generations from the slavery in her family. And so these things, I guess at that point, was like, Mom, we need to talk about this. No, you'll handle everything. Yeah, that's easier said than done when you're in the process of grieving.
Sure.
And now you have to make every decision about how your parents will be buried. Like, it's just talk about why it's important to have those conversations, not just about what your afterlife wishes are, but also who makes the decision when you can't make it, if you're laying in that bed, like all of the pressure that's associated with that. I see families fall apart.
Yes. Yes.
I say this all the time. Families will fall apart with a marriage, a divorce, a death, right? So how do we prevent that from happening?
Yeah. So we talk. One of the questions, or one of the statements you mentioned, is the pitfalls. What are the pitfalls that I see? That's one of them, right? These informal, verbal, or handwritten, agreements between family members as to what happens if I get sick, or what happens if I can't make these decisions. And so what it causes is families to argue and to fight.
Yeah.
Right. And it takes away the agency of the person to be able to make that decision themselves. Right. And so when I talk to families, it's a couple of things, right? It's making sure that, look, I love my Black and brown people. I really do. I'm here for them, right?
Yeah.
We got to do better. We
do.
have to do,
We do.
better, right?
do.
And so, like, telling me as the oldest daughter, Mom, that, oh, you're going to just
You're just
handle
gonna make the
everything,
decision. You're just
right?
gonna
You're the
handle it.
oldest, you're in charge. It doesn't work that way,
Yeah.
right? The law doesn't work that way. And so we have to memorialize these things. We have to memorialize these things. So I'm not fighting with my sister while trying to help care for my mom.
And it's going to be a fight.
Absolutely.
Because we think differently. We have different
Absolutely.
experiences in life. Her intentions are differently.
1,000%.
My brother's intentions are different. So we're just,
1,000%. And so my conversation is usually, look, you have to make a decision.
Yeah.
Because if you don't make a decision, the county probate court where you live at, that judge is going to make a decision.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be likely one of your family members. It's going to be an attorney. Now, I love attorneys. I'm an attorney. My husband's an attorney, right? However, that may not be the best person to be in the position to make the best healthcare decisions for your family member.
Absolutely. Whew, this is good. So you're known not just for your legal knowledge, but also your heart. How do you help clients navigate the emotional side of estate planning, especially when it involves family dynamics, blending families, or health crisis? I'm sure you get families coming in crisis. There's an emotional piece to that. So there's a legal piece to that. There's the emotional piece to that. How do you help them navigate the emotional side?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes it gets really difficult because it is emotional, right?
Yeah.
And so I really, really built a practice on leading with heart and following with the law, right?
I love that.
And so being in a position to make sure that I'm compassionate, right? And then I talk to clients with care, giving them the space to openly talk and to feel heard about hard situations,
Yeah.
right? Sometimes, look, family is sloppy sometimes. It's messy. It can get messy.
Very messy.
Right?
Yeah.
And so building the rapport with clients to make them feel heard and to make them feel safe, to be vulnerable, and to tell me things that aren't conversations that you're having every day, especially to someone you may have just met. Right. And so clients need to feel safe to open up and to have those conversations. And so just being compassionate, coming with care, and allowing that space. The other piece I think that's often forgotten in this estate planning world, and I think with attorneys in general, is that cultural competency. Right. So it's easier for me to help Black and Brown families because I have Black and Brown experiences.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. And so I know what it's like. I know how difficult and overwhelming having these conversations are. I know we don't have them. I know these conversations aren't happening in our households. Right. And I know that sometimes these conversations are associated with illness, death, and dying. Right. And so I'm able to lead the conversation with that knowledge, right? That it's not just a formality of filling out paperwork. It's someone needs, usually during crisis, if they're seeing me, right? And they look like me, the reality is it's usually a crisis situation, right? And so I need to listen, right? Listen and make sure that the client feels heard, but leading with heart and following with the law.
I love that. I love that because it's oftentimes even when I have the conversations with my parents, I have to amp myself up like, okay, you're about to have this conversation.
So emotional.
It's so emotional because it's like dealing with the inevitable reality that we all have to face eventually. But I'm like, I would rather deal with it proactively so that when it's when it happens, like I can grieve because all of the decisions are already made, and those decisions honor what they want, as opposed to what some others want or the influence of outside people,
and I often
with their own intentions.
Yeah, and I often tell clients just that, right? It's I'm able to walk you through and navigate you through this crisis because although I'm sure your family is a great family, I'm not emotionally connected to you, right? The reality is that I'm not emotionally connected to you. And so some clients and some information that I get in some of the situations, I grow close to them, right? I'm a compassionate person, so I'm deeply touched sometimes when I hear stories. But it's not my mom. Right?
Yeah.
And so I'm tasked with helping you figure out a crisis situation. And I can do that because I'm removed from the situation.
And it kills me, Carmen, where because you didn't do the proactive work, now you're older. Now you may have to go into an institution and all of the assets that you've worked for your whole entire life, because you didn't have the conversation, because you didn't put the right documentation in place. Now all of that stuff is liquidated, and you can leave none of that to your family.
Yeah, it's one of the and this is why education and estate planning matters so much, because it's one of the things that literally makes me sick to my stomach when there's assets that we could have protected, that could have been passed down through generations, that now you're liquidating and maybe having to spend on long-term care or, in other ways because you didn't plan. Right?
Yeah.
And that's what our counterparts, that's the leg up they have on us. Right? They're having these conversations.
They're planning,
right? They're not scared about talking about, death and dying and estate planning and who's gonna manage the business when I'm gone. And, when
I die, this person gets millions.
Absolutely.
They become an instant millionaire because of all of the assets.
They're having these conversations and we need to do better with that.
Yeah. And when you say we need to do better, I mean it. We need to do better. Yeah. It's not easy.
No.
Nothing is easy that's worth pursuing.
And it's an
It's
investment.
necessary.
And it's an investment, right?
Yeah.
So let's address that elephant in the room, is that I talk to clients and I say, look, you can't look at this as, just documents, and when you take shortcuts, right, you get what you pay for.
Oh, yeah, when
I
you
say
go
that
online,
often.
yeah.
I say that often.
Yeah.
You get what you pay
Yeah.
for, right? This is an investment in your, in you while you're living, an investment in your family when you're not.
Yeah. Somebody said this recently, like there's like 3 prongs, like easy, fast, and cheap. You can't have all 3. You can
Cannot.
only have 2. So if it's easy and fast, it's not going to be cheap. Wait a minute. No,
If it's-
easy. I forget. It's 3. Easy, cheap, and good. That's it.
Okay.
Easy, cheap, and good.
Yeah.
So if it's easy and cheap, it's not going to be good.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it's easy and good, it's not going to be cheap.
Sure.
If it's easy, so
Yeah,
if you can only have 2 of those, right? So if you're trying to get estate planning that's easy and cheap, it's not going to be good, right?
No.
And you want good, you want full protection.
Yeah.
Right? So you can't
Absolutely.
be going onto these websites doing these documents,
You
not
cannot.
having an attorney look at them and think it's going to be good.
And you
'Cause at
cannot.
the end,
Because by the time you realize that they're not good,
right,
it's too late. Right? It's like
Right.
Drake. If you're reading this, it's too late,
too late.
right?
It's too late.
So being proactive is key,
Yeah.
right? And seriously, taking it as an investment, like you spend on that Louis Vuitton,
Don't get me started.
ever full bag.
Yep.
Right.
With no money in it. Okay,
You
going
need to
down.
think.
You going down my lane.
You need to think about estate planning as an investment.
Absolutely, because it's not that expensive.
Yeah, no.
It's not that expensive. I was gonna say to you, some people say I'm too young. I can get started later, and then some people say I'm just too old. Like, talk about the timing.
Yeah.
Is it ever too early or is it ever too late?
Yeah. So I think you were in the session last year when I mentioned my gift to my son when he got married in his early 20s was an estate planning package to him, right? And so everyone over the age of 18 should have some form of these documents. And I say that because, you have adult children, right, Meltrice? So they move out the house and then they're like, they don't need anything from you because they're grown now. And then you get the call of, where's my doctor's office again? What am I supposed to be asking? I have a bill from this, dental office, and you're just kind of like, you're grown now. I can't just call the doctor and ask, right? Like what diagnoses or what drug, what prescription
They're gonna
drug.
tell me nothing.
Right. They're like,
Right.
these HIPAA rules are real, right? And so a healthcare power of attorney that you signed on, just shortly after getting married, that'll allow me access to your medical records.
Yeah.
And now I can call and ask.
Yeah.
Right.
That's good.
But we know that illnesses and tragedy have no age limit, right? It can happen at any time.
Anytime.
Anytime.
And it seems to be happening earlier in the season.
Earlier.
I'm like, oh my God, they were 20. Oh my God, they were 19.
Earlier.
What is happening?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so again, everybody over the age 18, one of the things that I'll mention, and I'll keep mentioning, healthcare powers of attorney and living wills are free documents. There's no excuse, right? You literally can Google them and fill them out, and you don't even need a notary. You can have 2 witnesses. I know you know 2 people.
All right.
I know you know 2 people. Your social media tell me you know 2
Okay,
people.
you're right.
And so have those sign and witness, and you have them. And as far as like the age limit for the older adults, it's just like you can't wait until it's too late and you lack capacity.
Yeah. Mental
Right.
capacity.
So if
physical,
you
yeah.
lack if you lack mental capacity or legal capacity to sign these documents, then you're not going to have them.
Yeah.
And we're at guardianship, which is going to strip away all of your rights.
Yeah.
Right. And so I talk about people that are afflicted with dementia. Having dementia doesn't preclude you from signing documents. I can catch you on a lucid day and you understand what you're signing when you're signing it, and we can sign documents. But if it's too far gone, then we can't do that.
Yeah.
And so now you have the court stepping in again.
Yeah.
Right.
So you heard it. It's never too early. 18 is when you should start this process. And this is a serious matter. So you receive so many honors for your leadership and your service, and they are all well deserved.
Thank you.
But what legacy are you most focused on building right now, both personally and professionally?
So it's about, for me, I think I'm most focused on access and agency, right? So having, personally, it would be, making sure my children, right? My granddaughter, and all
Granddaughter,
of my
she lying. Granddaughter,
my children and my granddaughter, um, realize that they have access,
Yeah.
right?
I love
They
it.
have access.
Yeah.
And for all the, little black and brown girls out there, to be able to write their own narrative,
Yes.
right? And they know that they can do whatever they want to do because I'm living proof of it, right?
Yes.
No one would have known. If you knew my story, you would never have guessed that I would be sitting in the seats and in the rooms that I am now, right? So that would be personally. And professionally is just education, right? Equipping as many of us that look like us, that talk like us, that walk like us, about estate planning,
Yeah.
and about its critical role in generating wealth and transferring wealth, right? I want to be able to say that I, at least in one household, I've made it normal to have these conversations.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And so that's just it. I'm just working on that access and agency.
I love that. And what I love more about that is that you're living it.
Yeah.
So it's not about what I want. It is what I am making happen.
Yeah.
In real time.
Yeah.
Because I get to watch it. I got a front row seat to it.
That's true. That's
I'm so
true.
excited.
That's
I
true.
get to watch you live it out.
Yeah.
And as hard as it is, you decided that this is what you wanted, and I am watching you get it. Yeah. So I am so happy to have you here today.
It's been a pleasure. It's always a pleasure.
Where could the audience find you? How could they reach you?
So all on social media,
Yes,
Staring
she
House
is.
and Scott, Company LPA. We are on Facebook. We are on Instagram. You can find us there. Our website, www.kscslaw.com, has all of the information about me, my firm. We have 2 offices. We're happy and ready to serve wherever possible.
You heard it. And I told you, you were going to be excited about this episode. And if you really want to see her up close and personal, register for this year's conference, womencreatingwealth.com. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you soon.